it's me, Maria, back with another video. So today's Saturday, I woke up in a fairly decent mood. I wasn't trying to dwell too much on my employment situation. I kind of thought, it'd be kind of cool to reach out to other target individuals, because I do understand that, we have lost, actually, I try not to think of it as lost, because I feel like anybody who betrayed you in this situation really isn't worth mourning. Okay, they put you through a lot. So, but my point is that knowing that you don't have contacts, people to reach out to, and some of us are fortunate enough to have partners who are strong and able to wait things out and try to hope for better times or whatever. And some people have absolutely no one in their life. And I think that we need to communicate with each other and talk, because maybe we can find a solution to our problem, and maybe you just want someone to talk to. So I thought I will leave my email in the description box, and if you want to connect via Skype or email, telephone calls, I'm open and willing to have conversations about anything you want to. Just tell me your story, tell me about what you did when you were a kid, just your day, whatever. I mean, we are very lonely people, and we need social interaction. It's good for us. So, like I said, I will leave the email address in the description box. I've never really been a political person. I've always been thinking, I'm pretty self-contained. What I mean by that is I'm a peaceful person. I don't like to make waves. I realize we are in a country, this country should be free, okay? We can basically do whatever we want to do. I respect other people's way of life, as long as they're not hurting anybody and they're not breaking any laws, okay? And just because I am accepting of other people's lifestyles doesn't mean that I necessarily want to do it myself. I'm not the kind of person who believes in imposing my views on other people. I'm really not. I'm a live and let live type person, and that's, I think America is kind of like that. It's supposed to be like that, ideally. Unfortunately, we do have people who fall into their animalistic behaviors, and they try to manipulate people and force things on people. And that's not how we should be, not as American citizens. We should all be pretty much minding our own business and respecting other people's freedoms and their rights. But, so anyway, when I was growing up, I just never really believed in getting involved in politics. And I have my own particular reasons why. My main reason as a child, because I did study in religion, and, a lot of people try to mix politics and religion together. The Bible says something different. And so I kind of believed that all my life. I've always believed that, I remember not voting when I was younger, because I was very inspired or encouraged by, the beliefs of Jehovah's Witnesses and so on and so forth. And so I've kind of stayed out of the political arena, and I don't foresee myself having a life in politics. I really don't. But I do believe that this is a very important social issue that is affecting many people, and I do think that it is threatening the way of life for many individuals, as we all know. And it's not that you're being punished for things that were actual crimes. You're being mistreated in public, in a community, or wherever it is that you live, for things that are not even worth considering. They're frivolous reasons, Somebody not liking your shoes. You didn't go shopping at a clothing store that somebody else likes. These petty little issues is what's keeping you out of the workplace. And these sort of things are foolish. They're foolish, and it needs to stop. And so one of the important things I'm trying to do is I'm trying to inform employers. I think that this is very important, because the thing is that we do have anti-stalking laws here in the United States. In California, the stalking has actually written into employment laws. For example, you're not supposed to, employers are supposed to make certain accommodations for people who are experiencing domestic stalking, okay? Employers aren't supposed to be giving out phone numbers, telling people when you leave for work. They're not supposed to discuss your schedule with anybody. And that is pretty much well-known information for a very long time. I do remember somebody, there was a tragedy, I forgot which one it was. I know that there was an actress who had her information given to a fan through the DMV, and I don't remember which state this was, but she was an actress. She was on a famous ABC show, and it's pretty shocking that at the time people could get people's information so easily. So there was a real big crackdown. There was another case where a man, I guess he went postal on a girl. I forgot. I remember it was a movie, okay? I will have to get back with you on the name of that movie. But it was basically a man had access to this girl's schedule. He knew where she worked. Nobody really thought about taking any extra precautions about, privacy, any of that. So he came in and basically started killing everybody. I believe she lived. But I think she lost a lot of her friends. Anyway, my point is that, employers really need to look at, of course, qualifications, but also, protecting employees, also understanding how to deal with targeted individuals, and perhaps maybe having them see them in a completely different light. The reason why a lot of people get targeted or experience workplace bullying is because they are really good. I mean, they are, textbook good, meaning they applied everything that they learned. They're utilizing these skills, and they take their job seriously. And that's a good thing, okay? And unfortunately, you have a lot of people who, for whatever reason, think it's okay to bully other people. Just like in school, the nerdy kid who was always excited about the spelling bee or the test, the pop quiz or whatever, he was getting his ass kicked after school or whatever. It's the same thing as an adult. I mean, people get targeted and beaten and bullied in the workplace. And so by having employers informed, by informing them, by having them understand the personality trait behind workplace mobbing, it could encourage them to start seeing them in a better light. This is a good, valuable asset. This is something that I should be bringing on board. This is not the kind of person who belongs out of the workplace. This is the person that we want in. So, I keep thinking that there's got to be a way for targeted individuals to get represented to employers, and employers guarantee and secure our safety. That's important. That's very important. So there will be no more manipulating employment. There will be no more, rumors spreading from one place to another. It will be that way, ideally, okay? This is how it's supposed to be, okay? And there's laws written for it to actually be so. But people need to open their eyes to these laws. They need to open their eyes to what is already written and start using it and seeing the value of it. That's the most important thing, to see the value of following these laws. So my point is that to inform employers is key. Like I said, you can never completely eliminate stalking, okay? Because like I said, there's always some freak out there. We know this, okay? But that freak shouldn't be able to affect your job. That freak shouldn't be able to manipulate your career, your life goals, the things that you're supposed to do as an American citizen that you have a right to do and pursue. They don't have a right to do that. It also, informing employers will make them consider their current employees. And if there are certain weaknesses, like for example, they might know that one of their managers might be a big gossip. Then they need to pull that manager in there and say, hey, you know what, you're not putting the company at risk, are you? Because this is something that needs to stop. If you're a chatty catty or a catty chatty or whatever that doll's old name is, that old dog's name is, if you're one of those people who just can't keep your mouth shut, you don't belong in management. I know it's important, to have a relationship with people, but there's got to be boundaries, the kind of manager that goes out and hangs out with their employees and subordinates and are always on this level. This is not about arrogance, but there's got to be a certain level of hierarchy. And there's got to be a level of confidentiality. There's got to be a level of, student and teacher at all times, I remember growing up in school, I had a teacher that I really respected. I respected her so much that I almost wondered, did she ever use the bathroom? I know that sounds really ridiculous, okay? But this woman conducted herself in a way that was beyond reproach. She conducted herself in front of other people so well, and she made me think that she was like some angelic person like Mary Poppins or something, just something just so magnificent, so beautiful, because she just never showed her flaws. Now, I'm not saying that we're perfect or that you can't be human, okay? But my point is that it's important for employers to really start looking at this, and this needs to be a hot topic. This should be workplace mobbing, bullying, this sort of thing needs to be a hot topic. It needs to be discussed in every professional circle, and we need to start talking about it. We need to start thinking about, how we need to start looking at targeted individuals as a whole. Because these people, these targeted individuals, are the people that you want in your workplace. They're not the people that they're being forced out because of jealousy, competitiveness, and one-upmanship, and things that really don't matter. Like I told you, people were making arguments about my shoes, about my homemade clothes, you know, when I'm basically working in Animal Wild Kingdom. You know, this kind of stuff is the crap that keeps people out of work, okay? Nobody can say anything about our work ethic, okay? Nobody can say anything about us breaking deadlines. I can't speak for everybody, okay? But for myself, I will say nobody can complain about my work ethic. They can't. They can't complain about the quality of work I do, unless, of course, you sabotage me and you're hovering over me all the time and you're making me have a nervous breakdown. Okay, that is the kind of stuff that needs to stop. Okay, so we need to talk about behavioral standards in the workplace. We need to talk about these things. And like I said, this is something that managers should not shy away from, or anybody in a position of making a decision. This is something that people really need to pay attention to, because if you have quality employees in your company, they care about function, they care about production, they're not going to drop the ball, they're not going to look you straight in the eye and say, you know what, I forgot about that assignment you gave me, even though you gave me a deadline. They're not, and when people say that, understand that they're disrespecting you. You are paying them for their time, for their skill, and they're basically looking you in the eye and saying, you know what, I didn't care enough to do it. That's basically what they're saying. So stop thinking about emotional feelings and feeling good and love and all that other stuff, and start thinking about, you know, the things that need to be in the proper perspective. You know, employees you can like your employees, you might end up loving your employees, meaning they might be so awesome, but you're supposed to like them for the right things, okay? You're not supposed to like me because I don't know, I'm a good mother, or whatever. The things that you're supposed to like me for are supposed to be related to the job. And so people need to get focused back on professionalism. They need to get focused back on production. They need to start focusing on and appreciating innovation. You know, they need to. I mean, not everybody is a follower. Some people are brand new. They want to introduce new ideas, new concepts. These stars, there's a lady on YouTube now. I mean, I do believe that she really was the person who originally made the iPod. Oh, I do believe her. I totally believe her. I understand how shit goes, okay? I understand that, you know, sometimes people don't get credit for their stuff, okay? And that's too bad. Somebody needs to hire. If that woman's not working, she really needs to be working, okay? Somebody needs to give that woman a job if that's what she really wants, okay? These are the kind of people that you want in. These are the people who can make you money. These are the people who can push your business forward, okay, is my point. So, and I'm not trying to, you know, point my finger on her. I'm just saying is we're not the kind of people that should be out. We're the people who should be in. They should be making all kinds of room for us. So maybe we can get together, or you can call me, we can email each other and talk about all these wonderful ideas and how we can put them into action. Because I'm all for it. I really am. I don't know anyone where I live right now. I don't know if there's any other targeted individuals. I'm assuming that there are. I haven't bothered to connect with them, okay? I'm isolated just like you. So let's stop being isolated and let's put our heads together. We can do this. You know, because, I mean, really, a workplace mobbing usually has a certain type of character. The target usually fits the same description, okay? It might be not based on race, but as far as personality types, just being the different one, maybe you're real serious about your job, whatever, these sort of things are the things that we're getting picked on. Completely unnecessary, uncalled for. So, also, my reason for speaking about it, and I was very quiet about it for a very long time, but I understand. I'm farsighted, okay? So like when I first started realizing that people were manipulating my job and, you know, started getting suspicious about certain things, you know, I immediately began to worry because I understand what this escalates into. I fully understand what this stuff does to people. It's devastating. And it could start off as a joke. You know, the whole thing is that work is not supposed to collide with anyone else other than that employee. Okay, nobody's supposed to have any input into that person's life or any say-so what that person does. And my point of speaking about it at this point, because I think I pretty much covered all the angles of, you know, what I'm going through and my emotions and the people that really have pissed me off, and I really do believe they need to fix whatever they did. I think I made that pretty clear in my videos. So my point is, why am I speaking about it now? is because I want solutions. I don't want this to happen anymore. I really don't. Okay, now this is the part where it gets political. I've never really thought about addressing my feelings out into the world. I always, like I said, I've always believed I was self-contained. I'm just really cool all on my own, and I do believe I'm at peace with my life. Okay, I don't need to get involved. As the Bible talks about, not being a part of the world. I'm in the world, but I don't really want to be a part of it. Just like the Bible said, I really don't. I think that there's a lot of corruption in this world, and I'm grateful that I grew up kind of a loner because I got to shape myself into who I want to be. This is who I want to be. And if it's common and if it's more socially acceptable to be corrupt, well, then I guess I won't have any friends then. I'll pass on that. I'm okay. Believe me, I'm okay. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be one of those people who thinks it's okay to destroy somebody's life. And I don't want to be one of those people who think it's okay to listen in on a person's suffering and their heartache and their terror and their fear and then watch them come in for a job interview and play with them and emotionally destroy them inside and then think it's okay and then go out and eat lunch with my family or my friends or something like it's nothing. I don't want to be one of the people who dehumanize people, who torment and torture them and then claim to love God. I don't want to be anything like that. Okay, I don't, and I never will. I never will resort to that sort of behavior. Never. So I'm grateful to be an individual. I'm grateful for that. That is my right as an American citizen. That doesn't mean that I don't want to join forces with other people. Now, collectivism can be scary, okay, because, when you get mob mentality and the groupthink, it can become dangerous, okay, but if it's well-guided and it's well thought out, okay, it can be productive. Collectivism at times can be a benefit to people. It can be, you can't live on an island, okay? You can't be on your own island all the time, okay? But as far as how I think, because I do think very openly, okay, and not in a way where it's I'm like with loose morals. I always think about the possibilities. If this happens, what's going to be the consequence? So I understand, there's always a consequence to every action. That's what I mean, okay? I'm a very open-minded person. But I think I have a very high moral standard, and I'm very grateful to say that. That's not to say I never made any mistakes, okay? Because I've made plenty of mistakes in my life, okay? But once I made those mistakes, I'm thinking, you know what? I learned my lesson from the anxiety that it caused. If I caused anybody any pain, any heartache, I understand it, and I correct it, and I don't do anything. I try not to do anything else to repeat that pattern. I don't want to be that way. It's not a productive life if you constantly fall into the same habit over and over and over again. And so I have learned on my own as an individual to deal with my problems and try to make myself better. And that's who I am, and that's the kind of person I'm very grateful to be. So that little loner kid that suffered and whatever back then, I am very grateful to have been that person. Why? Because I look at what I see in the world, and I'm grateful that I will never be a part of that. I don't ever want to be a part of that, and I hope that my child doesn't. I'm sure he's exposed to that. I don't. As a matter of fact, I would tell my son not to have any children. I don't really want any more of my offspring in this sick, disgusting world. That's how disgusted I am by it. So, anyway, my point of speaking about it is we need solutions. We need people to start seeing us for who we are, and we need to get people out of their situations and get employers onto us, because we're the people who can help them. Not all of us want to own our own business. Some people have the ideas, but they don't want all the legalities and all that other stuff. They want to use their gift to help others, and so make that business move. I get satisfaction from it because I'm actually helping and contributing. That's my goal. That's my role in life, okay? For whatever reason. That's where I feel most comfortable. Some people have the ability to own their own business and all this other stuff, and that's great for them, okay? But that's not my role. That's not where I want, I feel it's feasible right now. Or at least I've never thought about it. I did when I was younger, but the more I think about it, no. I enjoy working in an office every day, and I like coming to work, and I like my little coffee in the morning, and then that's just how I like to live my life, And I'm happy being a contributor is what I am. But, and some of us all have different roles, and we all have our different, life paths or whatever. But as targeted individuals, we should be allowed to pursue them without harassment, without all the frustrations, and we need to stop. The main point is, and the main focus right now is to get the harassment to stop at the workplace. So anyway, that's my goal. That's what I want to speak about. That's what I want to talk about, and I want to reach out to other targeted individuals who are suffering from loneliness, suffering from shock, emotional abandonment, all the things that go along with being a targeted individual, and we definitely need to connect, and we also need to, hear good ideas on how we can get this message across. I did see on a website, which I'm going to look into it further, about workplace bullying and the prevention of it, and I guess educating people of it. And I think it's a very hard task to educate people on this subject. But and the reason why is because, like I said, it is a psychological phenomenon. It is. I mean, when you have people who are talking about workplace bullying and they're the ones who are actually bullying you and they don't realize they're bullying you, it is a very strange thing. So it's a mental block in a lot of people's minds, perpetrators' minds, I guess, that needs to be penetrated, and it's not easy to do. Because I don't really believe that a lot of the people who did what they did realized what the outcome was going to be. Now, I believe the originators probably knew. But the people who went along with it, I call them sheep, the people who went along with it, I don't think they really had an understanding of how severe that is and what it means. If they thought they could shut me out of the workplace and I could just go out and get some customers or something after you smeared me so bad, I don't think that they were really thinking that through. Okay, I'm a far-sighted person. And I understand that for every action there's a reaction, and so on and so forth. And that's something I pride myself on. But yeah, we need to talk about it. And anyway, about these blue T-shirts that they're promoting, I thought that was a really good idea. I was interested in contacting them about it, and getting people on board. Hey, wear those T-shirts. Talk about workplace bullying. Talk about the effects of it. And there are effects that really do affect the bottom line. We're talking about the financial statements here, okay? Because there's a wonderful, I think it's called the Bullying Institute. I need to make sure of that. Anyway, he's like an accountant, and his wife experienced workplace bullying, and he was talking about the financial effects that it has on the business. People going out on leave. People taking time off, production, and what happens, the big financial cuts that occur when you end up losing a star employee, for example, if you lost a wonderful salesperson over this. Let's just say, for example, somebody pecked an executive salesperson out, and they usually bring you in $3 million extra a year. Well, guess what? You just lost, because this person is so sick all the time, they can't come through the door. It's those sort of things, and that really need to be looked at. I mean, this affects a lot of people, And I recommend his channel. I think it's something that could educate a lot of employers. But anyway, back to the blue T-shirts. I think that the blue T-shirt idea is a cute idea, and talking about it and promoting it. And they're actually doing it for a lot of the schools right now. They are talking about bringing it into the workplace. I think there's got to be a lot of people who volunteer for it. I need to look a little bit more into it. I did write it into my date book to read further into it because I do plan on contacting them. I guess I am a one-woman activist or for this cause, only because I don't know anyone in my community, but I think it's something that people really need to take seriously. It is something that, and I hope that people do it everywhere, and start thinking about what really matters in employment. It's not that we shouldn't have networks, okay, but I think we should network for the right reasons, Like, for example, if you write your skills on LinkedIn, whatever, and then all of a sudden an employer looks at your stuff, are they just looking at your picture? Are they looking at, the places that you work? Are they really looking at all the things that you've done? And then saying, hey, you know what, I can use this person on my network. Or is it just the fact that, you like going out to lunch with whoever, and, you might as well bring her on because that way you can, carpool or something, and it doesn't go any further than that. I don't know, but it just seems like a lot of the networking is kind of like BS, kind of, a little bit, So maybe we could try to change the networking. If you're a targeted individual and you don't have a LinkedIn page, I don't know how great LinkedIn really is. I think it's a lot of blather, kind of, a little bit. I mean, I don't know. I mean, not saying that LinkedIn isn't being used for real networking. I'm just saying is, because it might be. You know, I'm a targeted individual, so everybody's trained and pre-programmed to, like, look me over, right? But but my point is that, that was kind of funny. But my point is, maybe it is really being used for that. But, you know, the people that I see, and maybe I'm just in the wrong neck of the woods, I don't know. But, you know, I think networking needs to be improved, and people really need to start thinking about, you know, hiring people for their skills and what they have and their work ethic and all that stuff. That's really important. All the things that I believe I'm being kept out of the workplace for, you know, for being good, you know, for being great, actually. I'm a great employee. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. My email address will be in the description box. Give me an email, and we can have a scheduled conversation. And maybe if you can connect on Skype, would be great. I like to have a face to the name. You know, it'd be a great thing to do. And sometimes I think we can have conference calls even on these things. So, you know, it'd be kind of good if you got a little group of people and we can all talk and, you know, share our ideas. Anyway, I got to wrap this video up, and I just want to say happy Saturday. Take care. Bye-bye.